Ah, I've got somebody saying health. Okay, can we have some more words? Happy, health, strength. Okay, lovely. The state of well-being, calm, awesome. Okay, so that's great. That you've got different words that's describing what wellness means to you personally. Somebody said happy there as well. So that's awesome. It's a pity I'm not sharing my screen. Otherwise, you'd be able to see the word cloud with me, but I'm happy to share it with you afterwards. So thank you very much for sharing what it means to you. Let's look at the official definition of wellness. Now, if you can go to the next slide, please. So, according to the Global Wellness Institute, the definition of wellness is the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. So, it incorporates everything that you guys have mentioned, the calm, the strength, the happiness, the state of well being, all of that on a holistic level. Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of elements of well-being. If you can go to the next slide, please, Neil. All right, so when we're talking holistic wellness, it covers quite a few elements, as you can see on the screen. So it's from your intellectual wellness to your emotional wellness, physical wellness, your social wellness, your spiritual wellness, as well as your occupational wellness and environmental. So when all of these are in sync, then you are experiencing holistic wellness. And we know that for many of us, we may be strong on the one element, but not so strong on the other element. And we really try our best to be balanced in all of these elements. But we know that in some areas we do really well and in others not so well. But the aim is to try and get a balance of all of them so that we can experience holistic wellness. All right. So if we can go to the next slide, please, Neil. All right, so now we have another Mentimeter. So again, same code, menti.com 5770-8496. I'd like you to tell me how you feel about your wellness. So again, you will type in a word or a phrase that describes how you feel about wellness. And let's see what comes up. Okay, I'm just waiting for some descriptions to come up around how you feel about your health. Remember to go to www.menti.com and type in the code 5770-8496. Okay, I'm still waiting for some descriptions. Perhaps there's a delay on my side. Okay, so Samantha says, I don't have the option to type an answer. Katlecha also says there are no options on my side. All right. Thank you for that feedback. Let me just have a look and see why that is the case. Okay. That's a fault on my side. I didn't put options on there. So apologies for that. Okay. So thank you for that feedback. Okay. Katlejo says options have arrived. Right. So let's just try one more time. Okay, all right. So let's skip that one. It was meant to be a word cloud like the other one, but I guess I didn't set it up that way. So apologies for that. Okay. So let's skip that one and perhaps just move a little bit forward. So how you feel about your wellness will often drive your behavior in terms of how you pursue your own wellness. And that's why it's important to understand where you're at in terms of your wellness in order to take action once you get any kind of advice or way to move forward in order to do that. Okay. Thank you very much there, Katlejo. You saying you're happy with your wellness. Awesome. Thanks very much for using this as an alternative to engage. I really appreciate that. All right. So if you can move forward, please, Neil. Okay. Now, as we said that, the way that you feel about your wellness will often drive your behavior. So there has been some good advice from professionals out there around how to cope with emotions during COVID-19. I'm going to see if I can share on my side, or Neil, if you have the video open on your side, if you can share it. Do you have the video open on your side, Neil?
No, it's not open. Are you able to share on your side?
All right, let me try and share. It says the other speaker is sharing screen, so I think you need to use stop, and then I'll start.
Okay, you can start.
Yes, will do.
I'm Kelly Warner. In the midst of the COVID-19 health crisis, many adults and children are experiencing a host of emotions: anxiety, sadness, difficulty focusing or sleeping, even depression and loneliness. Taking care of your family's emotional health is just as important as caring for your physical health. As a licensed professional counselor at Thrive Behavioral Health, Jeff Houston spends his days in front of his computer, providing teletherapy to kids and families.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Many families are fearful of contracting coronavirus. They're feeling isolated. They may be dealing with job loss, concerned about financial stability, trying to balance working from home and helping their children with schoolwork and the challenges of distance learning. Jeff encourages families to first and foremost know their limits.
And the limits really are, if you're in your own head, know when you need to distract, know when you need to have something that's giving you a different focus.
Pediatrician Dr. Pilar Bradshaw says now more than ever, it's important for families to have a routine.
Establish a Monday through Friday routine for when you and the kids are getting up, what the sequence of events is, because kids do very much better with routine, especially when it's a time of stress.
Limit the amount of news and information you digest regarding the pandemic. Too much information can trigger anxiety for you and your kids. Go outside every day, even if it's just in your backyard. Be mindful of what your family is eating, because what you put into your body can affect how you think and feel. Concentrate on getting quality sleep by sticking to bedtimes and limiting screen time at least 1 hour before sleep. One way to help ensure a good night's rest is by making sure the whole family is active during the day.
I have a number of families that are doing yoga together, including some dads that said they would never, ever do that. So, coming up with those family shared activities that involve physical health or doing puzzles with family that you haven't had a chance to, it's important.
And parents, don't forget to take some time for self-care.
But it can just be 15 minutes a day where you set aside after the kids are in bed or what have you to do something that's positive and mindful for yourself, because you have to fill up your bucket somehow.
Kids pick up on their parents' emotional distress, so be mindful how your feelings may be affecting your children. Try this. Every morning, think of something you're grateful for and have your kids do it too. That one simple action can set the mood for the entire day. For more tips and information, head online to eugenepeds.com/healthykids. I'm Kelly Warner.
Okay. Great. So just based on that video, if you can type in what's worked for you in terms of coping in the COVID-19 context, in terms of wellness. So that video has given a lot of good advice in the COVID context, because a lot of us are aware of the impact that COVID has had on our mental well-being, on our emotional well-being, and even on our physical well-being. So if you could help me out and let me know if you've applied any of the advice in that video during the pandemic, what has worked for you personally. So I'll just look in the chat. All right, Samantha, not watching the news helped me, along with reading books on topics I enjoy. Fantastic. That works really well. Meditation and practicing yoga, Aya. Awesome. That is a really good tactic as well. Katleho says connecting with friends on Zoom. That was a lifesaver for many of us, Katleho. And play nights. Awesome. Teboho says exercise, not watching too much news. Oh, yes, I can relate to that. Okay. Awesome. Thanks. Thanks so much, guys, for relating that. And then Mpo says, we have adopted habits of playing puzzles with the kids and chess. And that's really important, Mpo, especially when you have children. I have one child, and I know it was really difficult for him to cope during this pandemic. And so really thinking out of the box in terms of keeping them busy, keeping them occupied, while being locked up, especially during lockdown, was not the easiest thing, but certainly coming up with little things to keep them occupied did help. Aya says, writing about your feelings. Oh, yes. Writing and talking about your feelings as well are all fantastic ways that you can help keep your emotions intact or balanced, as well as your mental health. So fantastic suggestions from everyone. Thank you so much for sharing those. And hopefully you've been able to find additional ones by watching this video, that can help you as well. All right, so now if we can move to the next slide, please. All right, so this is the part where I'm going to tell my wellness story. And it's nothing that you haven't heard before or don't already know. But what we feel the value of this is really in telling stories which we hope people will benefit from, or even get other people to tell their own stories, because often just telling a story can help somebody in managing their own emotions or managing their own mental health, or even having the courage to do so. So my wellness story, really, if I think about when I was growing up, I can't say that I was health conscious. I had a family. My mom always cooked very good food with vegetables, and tried her best to ensure that we as a family eat well. Obviously, as a child, you play quite a lot, so I got my physical exercise from there. And being an extroverted personality, I often love to chat to my friends. If I look at high school, how I tried to keep well there, I had to walk to school about 2 kilometers. And at the time I thought, we're so underprivileged that we have to walk to school because there were some kids that were dropped off with cars, etc. But in hindsight, I actually realized that all that walking was actually good as exercise for me during my high school years. And also during that time, as a teenager, we don't always eat very well, but in our household, we always had good cooked food. So that's what I'd say in my high school years. Coming to varsity, post school, again, I walked quite a lot within the campus. At that time, we took taxis going home. So there would be a lot of walking, wherever we needed to go. So that was subconsciously exercising and contributing to my wellness without me knowing. At varsity, it's very difficult to eat wholesome and healthy food. So during the day, when we go to the canteen, we'd eat, really terrible junk food. But coming home at night, we'd still eat a really good food. So from that perspective, I'd say that I kept healthy there. In terms of my mental well-being at that point in time, I had really good older friends and some older family members as well that I could talk to about the emotions that I was experiencing, as well as my parents. So at that point in time, I was doing all of these things, but not being aware that I'm actually taking care of my wellness. If we fast forward to my working life, my idea of wellness was my weight and losing weight and making sure that my clothes fit and looking good. So I had a really skewed view of wellness, I'd say, in my early years. I focused quite a lot on different diets, and I did exercise, but it wasn't sort of deliberate or targeted until much later on, when I actually understood the value of wellness and what it means holistically. So I adopted some new habits, like having shakes. And that's when I became a member of Herbalife. For many years, I really believed in it. On the one hand, yes, it did help me lose weight, but more so, I've always felt good when I was taking the shakes, because I was investing in my health. The other hobby that I took up was hiking. And over the years, I've really grown to love hiking because on the one hand, yes, I'm keeping fit, but on the other hand, I also get to experience nature and become quite peaceful and serene at the beautiful views when I go hiking. I later started joining the gym as well, and that also helped keep me calm, especially when I've had stressful days at work. So all of that really, really kept me well in terms of my emotional and mental health. I like to participate in programs at work that are focused on wellness. And also just talking to really good friends or confidants who help me process my emotions or process my thinking or going through a difficult time, and doing so trusting that the individual is there out there to help me. So I've always been conscious of it, but I think my conscientiousness has been heightened. And the moment of truth for me was COVID, and when I contracted COVID last year. So what I didn't realize was that all these years I have been building up a type of immunity and a type of strength and a level of wellness that would then help me survive COVID-19 when I contracted it in June 2020. So at that point in time, as you guys know, the COVID was new, it was rampant. There was still quite a lot of research being done on it, etc. So I feel like all these years of almost unknowingly preparing for that moment has actually helped me get through it. I will say, though, that when I had COVID, besides the physical difficulties that comes with having the virus, I experienced mental difficulty more so. And that's really thinking, what if this is the end for me? What if I don't make it through? What if I infect other people? There's all of those fears and anxieties that I had to work through whilst ensuring that I take my medication and that I isolate for those 14 days, and that I just keep myself emotionally, mentally, and physically balanced in order to get through that difficult time. So when I realized the benefits and the value of actually being consistent with your health, or with my health, I then realized that I need to do that even more so. I will admit that I'm not consistent as I'd like to be, but I'm certainly being conscious of it does help me to take action and to change my behavior and to change my habits when I need to. And I must say that once I've made up my mind and made a decision to focus on my health fully, that I actually do really, really well. Some of the things that have helped me is, as I said, I don't always have time as a working professional to make healthy foods or healthy breakfasts and so forth. So I opt for shakes. You might find that it works differently for you. I also find that trying to get onto an eating plan, for example, on my own, or trying an exercise routine on my own, is not that easy. So I join challenges or groups or online groups, and those really help me in terms of my motivation and getting started and being held accountable, and those really get me moving. I personally am not comfortable going to a gym at this point in time. I actually stopped going before the lockdown in 2020, and I haven't seen a gym since then. So I've just been doing home exercises, online exercises, and when I'm part of different challenges, then I join those. But hopefully at some point in time, I will be able to go, or feel brave enough to go back to the gym, or even do road running. One of my goals that I've set for myself this year is to learn how to ride a bike. And I've set September as the month. I set this goal list every year in January, and I'm happy to say that I meet most of my goals, but I'm not so sure about this one. If I do meet it, it will certainly be a valuable contribution to my overall physical wellness, and have a knock-on effect on my emotional and my mental health as well. So those are things that have worked for me personally, and that's my wellness story. I think, I also try and encourage my son to eat healthy, although he's a teenager now, so it's much more difficult to do that. But I certainly believe that the little habits that we have every day will help our bodies to fight against any kind of virus or attack to our immune system. Different vitamins also help. My mom is quite big on vitamins, so I pop vitamins as necessary and as possible as well. So what's also helped me during my time in COVID is to take the zinc, and to take vitamin C and vitamin D, all of those vitamins that help the immune system to fight the virus, and also some home remedies as well. That's been really helpful, and just on a maintenance basis, carrying on with my vitamin intake, and that's also been quite helpful. I'm happy to say that on the 13th of August, I got my first jab of vaccine. I know that there's a lot of controversy around that. I personally believe that it is scientifically the correct thing to do. And it is a personal choice ultimately for people around whether they would like to take up the vaccine or not. I'm certainly looking forward to getting my second jab later in September. So that is where I'm at right now with my overall wellness in terms of physical, mental, and emotional health. Okay, so now if we can move to the next one. So yeah, I think I've summarized what's worked for me. Something that's also really worked quite well for me over the years, which I haven't really highlighted that much in the story, is breathing exercises. So I discovered a lady during my years in corporate in 2006, and now I'm giving away my age. But her name is Juliet Jenner, and she was asked to come and do an exercise with a couple of us, and she showed us how to do breathing exercises. I never forgot those breathing exercises. And in fact, ever since she taught us how to do those breathing exercises, they have been what have helped me personally when I'm going through a stressful moment, or when I'm about to give a big presentation, or just in moments of anxiety. I found those breathing techniques to be quite useful. So I have a video that I would like to show you, and I would like you to participate in the video. So what she will do, it's a 2-minute video where she explains to you the benefits of breathing correctly and the effect, the calming effect that it has on your body. And then she takes you through a little bit of an exercise. So when she does that, I urge you to please follow along with her, and you will see how much of a difference you feel. It's worked for me for more than 10 years now. I still swear by it. I follow her on social media. I now attend her online webinars and so forth, because I really believe in this method, and it's free. No one has to know that you are practicing a breathing exercise. You can do it in the car. You can do it whenever, in the bathroom before a major presentation. It really has been quite helpful. So, Neil, also what's good that I didn't highlight perhaps is sufficient sleep on the emotional side. That's very, very important. And then on the mental side, talking to an expert, that is also very helpful. I have a coach, and she's been helping me and process especially difficult feelings, etc., or if I'm going through a major change. She's been awesome, and our free services, I will share some resources with you later on as well. And if you're employed by a corporate, they also have wellness programs that are often paid for by the company. So participate in them. They have really good value. I know we're all busy, and now that they're online, it's even more difficult. But I have found that when you make time for them, and you actually take up some of the advice that they give you, it does make a difference to how you feel overall and how productive you are as a human being. All right, so if we can go to the next slide, please, Neil. Okay, so I'm going to share with you, if you can stop sharing, Neil. I'm now going to share this video, and remember, please follow along as she does the exercise. And trust me, you should feel a difference.
I'm Juliet Jenner, founder of the Dynamic Voice Company. And one thing 20 years as an actress, communication and voice coach has taught me is that breathing is central to our well-being. And at times like these, when the pressure is on and the stress is high, it's more important than ever to breathe. So I'm going to run you through a super simple breathing exercise that you can do whenever you feel anxious and need to calm down. So why is breathing one of our most powerful self-calming tools? Well, central diaphragmatic breathing, that is breathing deeply into your belly, activates your parasympathetic nervous system. This brings you out of a state of hyper alert or panic and back into calm, where you can think more clearly and strategically. We were never designed to hang out in that stress state for too long, and it has some pretty negative consequences for our energy, our immune systems, and well-being. So one of the ways we know we are there is to become aware of how shallow and short our breathing is. If you are breathing up into your chest, it's useful to do the following exercise to drop your breathing down into your belly and gain the powerful calming benefits of reactivating your parasympathetic nervous system. This is how the breathing exercise works. So first, I'm going to talk you through, and then we can do it together, right? So, standing or sitting, feel your spine lengthen and grow tall. Put a hand on your belly just to guide your awareness to where you would like to breathe. Start by gently sighing all the air out of your lungs and pause for a moment on that emptiness. Then slowly we're going to breathe in through your nose over a count of 3, filling your belly. Pause. We're going to breathe out through your mouth over a count of 5. Pause. And then we repeat the in breath over 3. So now let's try it together. Sigh the air out. Notice how you feel. I feel calmer, more confident, more resilient, and I'm pretty sure you do too. Repeat this in 5 to 10 times as regularly as you need to. Remember, it sends a powerful signal to your body, your brain, and your nervous system to leave that high alert stress state that burns a huge amount of energy, exhausts us, lowers our immune system and resilience, and instead, as we belly breathe, we can think clearly, restore a sense of calm and confidence to our moment. Also, be compassionate to yourselves and others. Everyone is actually doing the best they can with the mental, emotional, and physical resources they have in any given moment. Now you have another one, so let's take a calm and clear thinking approach to what we encounter and belly breathe. We'll be sharing a series of simple tools and techniques over the next few weeks to help people remain connected, engaged, and productive in these uncertain times, especially dealing with remote connection and via screens. So click and like our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram to stay updated, and if you need any support managing the changing communication landscape, don't hesitate to be in touch for our remote agile coaching options. Thank you. Breathe well.
Okay. So, let's, okay. So somebody, Aya says, Katlejo says, I feel dizzy, I'm unhealthy, and laughing face. So let's get some feedback. How did you experience that exercise? This will take practice. I agree, Samantha. It took me more than 10 years of practice, and I agree with you. It does take practice. One of the ways to test it as well is when you're lying down and you take a round tennis ball or an orange and you put it on your navel. And if it rolls off when you're breathing, then you know that you are breathing correctly. So absolutely agree, but practice makes perfect, trust me. Can we have some more comments? Mpo says, I felt lighter in my head, the more liberated from something I cannot explain. 100% Mpo, and that's what it does for me every single time. 100% agree with you. Aya says, I did a lot of off-breathing experience in past years, but after I stopped, I became so sad. I agree with you, Aya. And you know, the beauty of it is you can do it anytime and you don't even have to pay for it. So I would encourage you to start again with the breathing exercises. They're awesome. Deboche says, takes practice, but it makes a difference. I 100% agree with you. Absolutely. The more you practice, the better you get at it. And what's interesting as well is that, you know, if you follow her, I'm not endorsing or encouraging that, but if you do choose to do that, she has taught me how to breathe from places that I never thought I could breathe from. So, you know, she taught me how to breathe from the back, for example, how to get the air to push down all the way to the back. To the lower back, and it was just very interesting how the body is actually so magnificently designed to be able to do all of these things. But ultimately, if we do take the time to do that, it contributes to our wellness, and it doesn't even take long. So that's a challenge for all of you to start practicing. And Tebogo says, need to go back and do it. Absolutely. Makes me remember being in the chorus. We were trained to do such breathing, and man, it was fantastic. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah, I've never been in a chorus before, but I definitely see how these exercises can help you with your vocals as well. Neo says, I've been doing the breathing exercises for some time too, and they really help. Lovely, Neo. Absolutely agree. So hopefully this will rejuvenate all of you to start these breathing exercises again. It really takes you nothing to just do that breathing and just to calm yourself down in the times that you feel most stressful and anxious. All right, lovely. Okay, so Sipati says it is indeed a calming feeling. Hey, I agree with you, Sipati, absolutely. All right, Neo, so let's move on. Thanks to everybody for all your lovely comments. We can go to the next slide, please. All right, so this video I had in initially, but I decided to just remove it. The video was really around a healthy lifestyle for young people, and in my subsequent thinking, I thought actually the likelihood of having teenagers on this platform, it's quite unlikely. But the video was really around how young people can actually improve their lifestyle. And one of the comments in that video was around a young man saying that he had come to a realization that when you are young, you're actually making an investment in your health. And actually, if you don't take care of your health when you're younger, you might not be able to do the things that you're able to do when you get older. So you're actually doing yourself an injustice or a disservice when you are not investing in your health. So we encourage young people as well to take their health seriously, even though, their immunity or their immune systems are a little bit stronger when they're younger, but it's just good for them to cultivate a healthy mindset from the beginning so that it can sustain them as they grow up into healthy adults as well. All right. So that's really the end of my presentation today. I don't think there's another slide. Oh, yes. The resources. So these resources I've just put here because they are resources that you can access should you need any kind of help. There's the TARA, which is a psychiatric association that is from the government. So often people want to have access either for their families or friends that need it, but often if they can't afford it, for example, if they don't have medical aid, they think that they can't get the help, but actually they can. So that's just a number that you can get over there. And then also Akiso, that is a paid for service. So that is also for depression, anxiety, for psychiatric conditions, etc. So that is another option if you do have medical aid or medical assistance. And then there's also another free service, which is from the government. It's the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. So again, if you or any family member needs help, there's a hotline that you can contact there. If you go onto the SADC.org website, you can also refer people that you feel could benefit from it. And again, there's no cost associated there. So it is useful to take that up. And then there's Lifeline as well. So Lifeline, you can also find their contact details on the SADC group. But the reason why I pointed that out is it's specifically when somebody is at a point of perhaps a suicide or really there's a crisis and this individual needs the emotional help for trauma in that moment. They can then call the helpline, which is free, the 080 number. And then the dynamic voice resource is the one that I just showed you around the breathing exercises for Juliet Jenner. In case you want to follow some of their webinars there that they offer, they've also got some resources that you can look at on their website that you can try at home. It is safe to use at home, so you can try that as well. The one other service that I would say most corporates offer is ICAS. And that is a wellness service that is offered by corporates who often pay for their staff to access, and that's also another resource that you can use. So yeah, you can do something about it. If you're really feeling low, or you're really feeling your mental or your physical or your emotional health is at an all-time low, this is just to show you that it can change. You can do something about it. There are resources out there. There are things that you can do, little things that don't have to cost you much or anything at all to just uplift you. So I hope that this has just given you a little bit of energy to go out there and to invest in your health and to develop little habits that can help you feel healthier and happier. Thank you very much, everybody.
Oh, thank you very much, Virgie. That was very informative. Yeah, I can see even messages still coming through. Samantha says, thank you. Wow. Thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate this. If you still have questions for her, we're still around for a little bit. You can pose your questions there. Maybe we can even invite you on stage. There's a mic on bottom left. If you can see that one, you can click on it, then I can invite you on stage. Then you can interact with the speaker. Let me give you a sec or two. I'll check if there is anyone there who would like to ask a question. Okay, no one yet. Can I choose? Sipati, would you like to join us on stage and maybe ask the question for Virgie? I don't want to put you in the corner. You can type your answer there, and then I'll put you on stage. Sorry to put you in the corner. Anyone? Samantha? Taboho? Aya? Mpo? Right. I think our questions were answered as we went along there. Also, we want to apologize. Our next speaker is unable to connect. We've been trying to help her on the site as the speech was going on, and we just failing to connect. Something wrong with the technology there on her side. But we really apologize because we were looking forward to meeting her and hearing her presentation as well. But if you have questions or suggestions or anything you would like to add to the wellness program, please, we're looking forward to hearing from you. You can type your question over there, and we'll answer it for you. If there isn't, here's the next feature. It's called a group fee. So I'm going to send a command now onto your computers. You can switch on your camera, and then it will take a selfie. It's like we're taking a selfie of everyone that has connected here. And there we go. Let's see. We're going to start it now. Okay. You see your face there, and then on the bottom it says take picture or take a photo. Please click on it, and then that we can add you on our selfie layout there. I'll give you a moment to do so. Virgie, I think your camera is still off. Maybe you can exit and come back, and then it switches on. Okay, I see one person already took a selfie. Okay, I'm still waiting for the others to also take a selfie there. Or did we get you on a laid out mode? Makeup's off, relaxed, with a cup of coffee. Awesome. I see a second one there, sending in.
My video is still taking a while now.
Okay, we'll wait for you. Do you want to go out again and reconnect, Reggie?
Okay, let me try.
Are you winning?
Not really.
Oh, shame. Still not.
No, it's sadly not.
Okay.
I think we should have taken it in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to end the grouping.
Okay.
Hey, All right. Thank you everyone for that group fee, that selfie of a group. And yeah, we've come to an end of our show. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, please let us know. Now you're following us, you'll be able to continue the chat onto the chat box there privately after the show. You can send us comments there, and then we'll be happy to entertain them. All right. Thank you so much. We're signing out with a song. Okay, let's see. Music. Okay, we have a comment there. Thank you, Sipati, for joining us.